TCU game, what are some things that you saw that you did well? Maybe what are some areas that you'd like to improve on for tomorrow against UNH?
It's funny. We offensive rebound really well, and our rebounding numbers were great, but still think we could block out a lot better. It's amazing that we had the numbers that we did when really at the defensive end. I think we can do a lot better, but we are pretty relentless going to the offensive boards, and hopefully that'll continue. It's been something we've done pretty consistently, and something that's pretty important, so hopefully that'll continue.
Is that where part of the risk is when your bigs pick up fouls? Is it on the offensive end, crashing the boards?
No.
And is there anything you can do to protect them on that?
No. That's one of those fouls, I think, unless they just completely reach over somebody's back, that you kind of live with those. I don't think we've gotten that many of those this year that I can remember. We're trying to avoid all, like what I would call a silly foul, where it really wasn't, a moving screen or just reaching and grabbing or those kind of things. Those are the ones that add up, because you're going to get, in the heat of a game, you're going to foul a couple times, but you sure don't want to add to that with the ones that really are pretty avoidable.
You've spoken after a couple of games, Yale and Brown, about how grinding out a win against an unconventional team like that is pretty gratifying to you, although not necessarily during the game itself.
Right. No close game is that fun during the game.
Right. TCU you didn't blow them out of the gym, but you beat a rival. Is it a similar gratification at all?
Yes, and what we're seeing is that we're getting everybody's best shot. I mean, we really are. We watch film of all the teams, and you get a pretty good sense for them, and then we're playing people. We're getting a little bit of a different look out of them. I mean, I thought TCU played tremendously. They shot tremendously. They shot with no range whatsoever. Some of the shots they hit were contested 24, 25-foot shots. Especially at the tipping point of the game where we were getting away from them and maybe had a chance to really push to 14 or 15 points, and they had 2 or 3 long threes, but we're getting everybody's best shot. That was very gratifying, because a road win against a Big 12 opponent who happens to be a rival who played outstanding, you got to feel pretty good about that.
When you feel that you're getting everybody's best shot, do you kind of feel like you have a target on your back, and do you feel that?
But you do when when you're either one of those programs or you're ranked, or whenever you have a ranking, you're definitely gonna get that, and that's where we are right now. And we have to understand that. We talk about it a lot, but you can't just say, well, we're ranked higher than them, so this should not be hard. All games are hard. College basketball is hard, and it's harder when the other team feels more motivated than you feel, and that's the danger in tomorrow. I think New Hampshire is a very, very good team. They're a very veteran team. They're very well coached. They've already won 3 road games this year, which I don't care where you play, winning a road game is difficult. The game is early. It's at 12:30. This is the most dangerous game so far, by far, in my opinion, of the year tomorrow.
You spoke after the TCU game about Nick, and how I think you said if you asked him to slow down at all, there might have been a fist fight. Has he always been that way? Was he like that when he was a freshman at Illinois State?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know that when you recruited him?
Kind of, but not to the extent. We knew he was a great competitor. He took his high school team to the big class state championship game his junior year, and I saw his team, and it's pretty amazing that he took them that far. I think he had 38 points and fouled out with 5 minutes to go, or who knows. And then his senior year, he was hurt. After he had signed with us, he was hurt, and so he didn't get a chance to see how far they would go. He hurt his knee, so he didn't really finish up. But we knew he was a great competitor, but honestly, I didn't know to this level. No.
Does that side of him get exaggerated at all, because he's usually the smallest guy on the floor, and he seems like such a nice guy, but you've described him as sort of a killer on the court?
He's a killer. Yeah, he's a killer. He's a stubborn killer, and but he is as competitive as anyone I have coached in 30 years. He's, you know, his will to win and his grit, his confidence, toughness. You know, does he make a mistake? Of course, he's human. Does he do something? You know, you wish he wouldn't every now and then. Absolutely, but so does everyone. But as far as just that fight to win. You know, not to compare him to Michael Jordan, but people talk about his competitive level was just beyond anyone that they could match, you know, and he was in a class by himself. And to me, in the college world that I have lived in over years and years, he has that unusual level of competitiveness.
Do you see a difference when he's on and off the court? Do you see his level of competitiveness be contagious kind of to the other players on the team?
I think so sometimes, but he's, you know, he has a much different off the court personality than he does on the court. I mean, he's the nicest guy, you know. He's just pretty easygoing guy off the court, but you know, something about the lights and the lines or whatever that he changes.
Is that something that can be taught to the younger players, Jare and Shake and Cedric?
I think they'll learn a lot watching that, you know, to just be a part of a guy who plays to that level. But it's not something you can hand off, and I think everyone could improve from it. But you know, it's not like just because you were played. Put it this way: everyone that played with Jordan didn't become Jordan. You know, you can improve on it, but I don't know. I think it's part of that it factor, I guess.